Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John, and today is going to be a follow-up video of my AC/DC favorite song off of every album. And this is going to be my least favorite song off of every album. So let me be clear, these are not songs that I hate. I don't think they suck. I mean, AC/DC, I like pretty much every song on every album, to some degree. But this is the idea for the video, is to choose one song that I favor the least, or I like the least. So with that being said, let me get right into it. Before I start, these are going to be 16 albums, the international releases. And let me get going. The first album is High Voltage. And the one I like the least is She's Got Balls. I think it's just like the least memorable song off of the album. That album has like a lot of classics. It's a really great album. Next is Dirty Deeds. And this is another great album. I think in my ranking I had it at number 3. But I chose There's Going to Be Some Rockin'. And my reason, I think it's a little kind of generic. It's like a blues-based song, but there's really nothing really original about it. So that's why I chose it. After that is Let There Be Rock. I chose Dog Eat Dog. And for me, Let There Be Rock is such a great album, it's really hard to choose one. But Dog Eat Dog is probably like the least memorable song off of the entire album. Next is Powerage. I chose Kicked in the Teeth. And this was a difficult choice because Powerage is such a strong album. So many good tracks. I think the only reason I chose it is that actually I like the song. I like the riff, but it takes a while to like build up to it. Like the intro is slow, and for that reason alone, I chose that as my least favorite. After that is Highway to Hell. This is like a near perfect album, but the song I chose is Get It Hot, only because it's fairly like generic. After that, Back in Black. Now this is like the perfect album, kind of hard to pick one, but the song I went with is Shook Me All Night Long, only because as one of the popular songs on the album, I feel it does suffer from that like overplayed effect a little. Now the title track Back in Black, it doesn't really suffer from that. Like I can listen to it over and over and I never get tired of it. But Shook Me All Night Long, sometimes it kind of seems to be like too much at times. After that, for those about to rock, I chose Breaking the Rules. This one, I felt it's a little forgettable. The intro is a little slow, kind of takes a while to build up. After that, I have Flick of the Switch. And I chose Badlands. And to me, it kind of sounds like Bad to the Bone by George Thorogood. Like it kind of lacks originality. So for that reason, I chose this song, Badlands. Next, Fly on the Wall. This is an album. I really like the album. The production wasn't that great, but the songwriting, and it's really a great album. This would be like a really good album for them to like re-record one day. I don't think AC/DC has ever done that, but if they ever do, they should go with this one. But anyway, I chose Playing with Girls. I felt it's generic. It's kind of hair metal sounding and too much of like an 80s sound. Next, after that, I have Blow Up Your Video. And I chose Nick of Time. I felt it was kind of like a slow intro. It's a little generic. After that, I chose The Razor's Edge. And the song I chose is Let's Make It. And that's probably just the most forgettable song on the album because it has so many good, like, of their like greatest tracks, like Thunderstruck. But then there's some stuff that could be filler, if you want to call it that. After that is Ball Breaker. Now this is an album I ranked fairly low in my ranking, but it has really grown on me a lot. And if I do another ranking, it would probably be in my top 10. But the song I chose is Boogeyman. I felt this was like a little slow, maybe a little boring at times. The next album is Stiff Upper Lip, and I chose Can't Stop Rock and Roll. And I think the bias is just from the title alone. Well, first of all, I mean, the song isn't memorable. And second of all, it just kind of bothered me that it's the name of a Twisted Sister album and song, and I always like relate that title to that band, and that's the only reason I chose this as my least favorite. Next is Black Ice. I think this is an album I kind of like used to like a lot more. It might have like dropped down a little for me. But I chose Smash and Grab. I felt it's a little unoriginal, maybe a little forgettable. Next is Rock or Bust. And I chose Rock the Blues Away. It's kind of like a generic song. And on their latest album, Power Up, I like this album. I listen to it a lot. I mean, I still put it on, and I still give it listens. But I chose the opening track, Realize. I just felt that it's the one that's like the least like exciting for me, so I went with that. Okay, so that's my list. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think? What are some of your least favorite songs from AC/DC? So let me know. And other than that, let me close out. So please like and subscribe if you're new. I upload almost every day. I'm always putting videos out. So other than that, I will see you in the next one, and keep on rocking.